It could be that water's coming in somewhere around that cover, and then as you're traveling down the wire, it comes out right here. I'm not able to determine if that's actually the case, but it needs to, I'll probably seal that light fixture out there, monitor this, clean this up, make sure it's not bringing in moisture again. If it is, so.
All right, let me see if I can get to, there we go. Whoops. All right, so you can kind of get an idea about, instead of typing all of that, obviously it's important that your content in the report be describing the deficiency. But if you want to elaborate further and you don't want to have to type all that, the video can allow you to cover that content, things that might not be important to type in the report, but that you do want to say. So it's kind of nice. And you can also come down here, you can see, where is it, 6.1. I believe it's this one. It kind of shows, woo, sound. So that's nice for sound and movement, obviously. When you're trying to take a picture of something that would otherwise show sound or movement, you can't take a picture of it, and the video allows you to do that. Otherwise, you just have to describe it. So basically, this report just is a good example of how you can incorporate it. We have a lot of videos in this report. You don't have to put that many. You can just put an intro. You can just do a couple. But we were trying to point out some really good ways to incorporate video. And in case everybody didn't know, we have been having a video contest over, gosh, I guess all summer we've been having it. So just for some interesting points as to how some other inspectors have been using that video in their report, I'm going to show you a couple of those if you haven't watched them. And then we're going to get going through the software and showing how to actually put this information into your report. Let's see here. We have several. If you just go to if you go to your most recent news alert, you'll be able to have access to it. This one was really, really interesting, and I think when you watch it, you'll see why this person got to win for September. Hot sink. So an electrified sink. Yeah, so basically I hope that no one was touching that sink when that garbage disposal was started. They would have quite a surprise. In August, we just had someone who was trying to be practical, maybe showing people like they may not be able to get into their attic, or it might be narrow or hard to get up there, and he wanted to show them that they had good insulation. Hmm?
Down here.
Because I'm expanding.
Okay. And then we've got quantity slash wandering utilities on there too that has these points. So infrared view here of the import heating system is full function.
All right, so there you have radiant flooring and being able to test whether it is functioning or not. Someone had a question about the quality of the video. I mean, each person takes their video in a different way, and if there's a lot of movement, obviously the flow is going to look a little different. If you watch it in the smaller screen, it'll probably flow better, but I'm expanding it to the full screen so you all can see it better. So basically, we are going to kind of go into a report. I'll show you how to incorporate video and find different ways to insert your pictures and maybe things that you want to think about as far as that is concerned. So we're going to go into the software right now. Let's see. First of all, I want to say that if you're using the Android companion, and you want to be sending video and obviously pictures to the cloud and getting it down on your PC, you need to be sure you change the resolution on your camera and your video settings. You just go into the camera that you use. If you have multiple camera apps on your device, you just need to be sure that you're selecting the device that you are using within HomeGauge, because you can tell it to use different ones. You want to set the pictures to below a megapixel. And you need to probably set the video on the lowest setting. Is that VGA it's called? VGA, or maybe one above that, simply because when you're sending that data to the cloud, although you have 100 megabytes to send it there, if your pictures and video are set really high, you can knock it out in no time. And so you don't want to get stuck having to manually transfer your report or not being able to manually transfer your report. So the first thing you want to do if you're going to be using the Android companion is to modify those resolution sizes. But doing video and pics on your Android is really one of the fastest ways to do it. And if you're using it now, you know it's because you work within the component, within the inspection item. And that way you can just have it right there in your report, send the report to the cloud, and when you get that report on your computer, those pictures are already in place, and videos. So we're going to talk about pictures initially. Obviously, most of you probably know how to insert pictures, but I don't know that you realize that you could do batch photos. So initially, I'm just going to show you how to modify a picture and insert it, and then I'll show you how to bring in multiple photos at one time. So I'm just going to, some of these are just going to be images that are not necessarily appropriate for the inspection item. I'm not an inspector. I just know how to use HomeGauge software, so don't hold it against me. So I'm going to go to this picture on the right, and I'm going to double-click. And so my default setting here is medium. So when I insert this picture into the report, it will come in at this size. You can actually see your report and actual size of the image at the bottom here. And when you insert this into your report and it's uploaded, it will expand to the same size it would have expanded as if you had had this defaulted on small, even if it had looked like this when we first came in. Okay? If you don't know how to change your default settings for your pictures, you could come down here to Edit Default Tool Settings, right here. And this allows you to modify a variety of different things regarding this photo editing tool. So when you click here, you'll see that this is defaulted to medium. You can see what the display width defaults should be. You can modify these some based on the sizes you want, but honestly, I would not modify this actual picture width. I wouldn't modify that. You will find that sometimes, depending on the setting that you change it to, the number you change it to, it can get kind of finicky. So, but these are perfectly fine to change as long as you keep them below the number for that default picture width. So if you wanted to change it to small, you could just come here and say, I want to change it to small. You could also come down here and modify your line colors, your fill colors, your arrow lengths. And so if you have some custom things you want to do, these are all defaults. But if you want something that matches your logo or your print style, your print format, you can come in here and do that. Or maybe you ran into a situation where you had, I don't know, a black arrow, but you had a dark background. and now you can change that background to white if you want to, or you can actually do that on the fly over here, but you can modify these to anything that you want. So if I say OK here, it's not going to change my picture to small right now, but after I insert it and I go to the next picture, the picture will be small, and every picture after that will be small. This is only when you're using the film strip. To bring this in, or whatever the default setting is upon importing a report from your Android, the photos will default to whatever your default picture is. So I'll make this medium, and obviously many of you may know how to do arrows. You know that you can do text if you want to. You can modify your template, your font size rather, color, all that type of thing. You can move this around, and you can insert it. You can even make something brighter or darker. You have a little bit of control here without working outside of HomeGauge. Okay. But now, as you see over here on the right, the pictures are grayed out. This means we've used these pictures, and the ones with the check marks indicate that they have been put in the photo locker. So our most recent version of HomeGauge, when you put a picture in the report, it puts a copy of the picture in a photo locker associated directly with the report size, the report folder. Okay. So if you already create a folder on your computer with all of your pictures, once you insert the photos into your report, you can get rid of that folder because there's another one's been created. That means you can also include those just-in-case pictures. So if I right-click on this image over here, let's say this is a picture of a big, gigantic, like a entertainment system, and you can't see behind there, you don't know what's going on, but you want to keep a picture of it just in case, but you don't want it in your report. You can right-click on it, save this photo to the photo locker. So you can see that these two images are in the report and in the photo locker, and this image is not in the report, but it is in the photo locker. Okay, so that's a right click. So I'm just going to navigate somewhere else, and right now I'm going to hide the photos that I've already used, because oftentimes you have a lot of pictures. If you click on this minus sign at the top of the photo column, it will hide the photos you already have in your report. It hasn't deleted them, it's just hiding them. You can use the plus sign and show those photos at any time. So let's say I have 3 photos that are associated with this skylight, and I have this one comment. I'm just going to grab a comment. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'll do this one. So whatever this comment is, I have 3 photos reflecting this issue. I'm going to do a single left click, and it puts a red box around it. Single left click, puts a box around it. Single left click, puts a box around it. All 3 of these photos are selected. If I need to modify these photos, every one of them, I can come up here to the plus sign, insert it, and I can say, oh, I need to just do this, and I'm going to say OK, and now I have this one. It's going to bring them up one after the other. This allows for faster editing. Okay, and now all 3 of them are in. But if I had another issue, I'm going to come over here to the plus sign and itemize my comments here by using the plus sign, and now I have a second tab with a blank comment. I'm going to say single left click here, single left click here. I need these 2 photos, but you know what? My comment, those photos, they speak for themselves. I do not need to modify them, because if they can't see the problems in that picture, they got things I can't help them with. So I'm going to come up here to the double plus sign, and it's going to throw both pictures in, 1, 2, without even modifying them. Oh, look, there's Russell in that picture right there. So that'll kind of save some time as opposed to coming over here and dragging. And a lot of you might drag and drop, but that will allow you to, you don't have to. You can just grab them and use the icons at the top. The plus sign if you want to edit it, the double plus sign if you do not want to edit it. Okay? Something different that some inspectors like to do, Russell likes to do it, is to put some photos in the overview section that are complementary photos. So as you're creating your report, most inspectors are just covering, deficiencies, things that are problems, repair, replace, which could be quite the negative package. So he tries to incorporate maybe some nice things. Look how lovely your dining room is, or whichever you'd like to say. So when you click on overview up here, I'm not sure why my computer's making that noise, but okay. If you come up to the overview right here, you can see that there's a photo option at the bottom. You can put a label just like anything else. But here you might just want to say the roofing, maybe just some complimentary pictures of the outside of the house or the roof, or things that aren't necessarily bad. This is probably more common in exterior and interior. So we'll just kind of go into exterior real quick, and it'll now keep you here in that section. So let's just say this is a complimentary picture. This is a complimentary picture. Obviously, I'm not editing my photos for the complimentary pictures, meaning I'm not putting arrows or anything. They're just, you know, pictures of how nice the house looks. And this will show up at the beginning of the section after your introduction here. So your overview has the introduction section and the footer section, and you can then, you know, the photos for the complimentary pictures will show up with that introduction section. Okay. I'm going to just put you on hold for a minute and check with Tracy and make sure there's no questions. Please don't be shy. If you've got a question, ask it. And if we have time today, I might actually open the mic to see if anyone does have anything they'd like to ask. And if you have a microphone on your computer, I'll let you know if that becomes an option today. Hold on. Okay. All right. So we had a couple questions, and someone had a question about the photo locker. Now, videos don't go in the photo locker, but photos go in the photo locker. And once you create a report, as you're entering them, and if we come over here to the little plus sign, you can see all the pictures we have in this report. But this is just a preview of a file on your computer. This is not directly associated with the report in which we're working. So if I come up here, let me get my little, up here to report at the top of the screen. If you click on report, you can go down to show photo locker. And when you do that, I have two monitors, so it jumped over to my other monitor. It will show you all the pictures that are in the report. Now, in this particular case, there's not a way to tell which pictures are actually in the report and which ones you saved as a just-in-case picture. But traditionally, you're going to be able to look at that. I mean, obviously, there's a reason you put something in a just-in-case, and we're hoping to be able to differentiate those in the future. But if you look at the path at the top here, you can see that this folder, the HomeGauge folder, is stored in my documents, and then there's a report folder within the HomeGauge folder. This is my report, and this is the photo locker, which is inside that reports folder. So if I had 100 pictures on a folder on my desktop that I've been having the software refer to in regards to pulling the pictures in, once this report is done with all the pictures and I've selected all the photos that I want to put in as just-in-case pictures and put them in the photo locker, I could delete that that folder. Also, the pictures are stored in their original size in that locker. It is not when you put your picture in HomeGauge, it actually compresses the picture so that when you upload, the file's not gigantic. So you would go to Report and Photo Locker while you have the report open in the software, and you'll be able to find those pictures. Okay? So why don't we do a video here? I'm going to go to General Info. I'm going to scroll down, and we'll say, here is our video here. So I would like to say for video and voice recordings, because on a companion you can actually just record your notes for yourself that you can play back to yourself once you get it on the computer. You need to have QuickTime on your computer. So if you currently have HomeGauge on your computer and you don't have QuickTime, you want to close HomeGauge, navigate to apple.com/QuickTime. You know that when you download something free, it's really not free, so pay attention to every screen when you're downloading this and be sure that you don't inadvertently download something you don't want. If you don't want McAfee, watch, because it'll probably ask you if you want McAfee, and you'll have to uncheck a box. But just download QuickTime, and when it's finished, you will need to reinstall HomeGauge. You're not going to lose anything. Just go to HomeGauge.com, re-download version 5. It will synchronize those two programs, and after that, you'll be able to bring in videos and listen to voice recordings of your notes. So I'm going to double-click on this picture right here as if it's the cover page, and it's going to open the screen. So right now I can play this by clicking play, and when I play it, if this were really long, I would watch for the points that I otherwise would want to crop it. So maybe I started recording a few seconds before. Maybe this is 10 seconds. I only need 5 seconds of it. You want to kind of look at your time as to when you would want it to start and stop. So I'm going to just hit play here. And this is going to play the whole thing, 5 seconds long. That's not too long, so I'm not going to actually modify it. I'll modify another one. But if I had a time here, I could wait till it got to the point that I wanted the video to start, and I would click this Set Start Time. And then I would click when I wanted it to end, and I would click Set End, and it would crop it out, that little section that I wanted to use. Now, if I was talking to somebody and I didn't realize it was recording my voice, and clearly I don't need my personal conversation playing in my report, I could strip the existing audio by putting a check mark here. So unless you were intentionally speaking and meant to, incorporate that into your video, you don't have to do that. But if you dropped your phone and said some choice words about it, you obviously want to check that box, okay? Once you click OK, it's going to convert it one more time, and then it's going to put it here. So you know that this little triangle indicates you have a video there. And you can just say, neighborhood pan. Oh, why am I not going in there? Oh, I'm not sure why my keyboard's not working right now. It's not letting me type. Okay, well, you could put a note there. I'm not sure why my keyboard's not letting me type in there. So, so this could be there along with a picture. So I could also put this picture here and then just say I want that to be a little larger. And now I have a picture and a video. Okay? So let's come down to one of these and edit a real video so you can see how that works. I'm just going to throw one of these in here. Let's see how long this is. There, this one's 37 seconds. That's kind of long. So I'm just going to, let's go to exterior and throw it in there, maybe make a little sense. Double click on it. So you can see this is 37 seconds long. So if I'm watching it, I start to play it, and I can say, oh, whoops. It's playing my video. Okay, so if I only needed part of that, and maybe I didn't need that verbiage in there, all the dialogue, so I can click Strip Existing Video, existing audio, and when I hit play here, I'm going to wait for it to get to a certain point, and I'm going to set my start and set my end. So I'm hoping it's not going to play the sound again because I put that check mark in there. I'm not sure, but and I'm not sure if I just mute my sound on my computer if you'll still be able to hear me. So I'm just going to click Start. And then I'm just going to click Set Start. Set End. And so I changed it. So now it's only this little tiny bit as opposed to the 37. So you can see that I set the start at the 3-second mark, and I set the end at the 9-second mark. I will say that when you're creating a video, you'd rather it be a little longer, okay? Really a 3-second video, it may as well be a picture. Okay, so you make it a little longer and then bring it in here and edit it. If you're on an Android and you try to bring it in and it's only a 2 or 3 second video, sometimes the conversion can get hung up because it's just so short. And so you'd rather make it just a few seconds longer, 5, 7 seconds is probably a minimum that you want to do, and then modify it down a little bit. But yeah, that way you can kind of have a little control over it. Okay, and I'm going to say okay. It's going to convert that one more time. Whoop, and I just got a bug. Look at that. That's always fun on a webinar. Something happened to my report. You think the recording of this should be posted on HomeGauge? I'll have to tell them what happened. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Let me go to here and see if the video's there. You know what? I'm wondering if the video is too short. Give me just a second. I'll put y'all on hold for a second while I look at this real quick. All right. Unfortunately, that didn't save because it was just so quick. So I'm going to try that again. I'm going to throw this in here. Hide the pictures in just a sec. I'm going to try a different video. As you can see, it's kind of thinking as it's reading that. Let's see how long this one is. "13 seconds. Let's try that one. So I selected my set start and set end. So it's about 10-second video. And now I'm going to make sure this doesn't bug out on me. There we go. I think my video was too short. So so that was probably, I think it was only 6 seconds. So yeah, more than 6 seconds sounds like a good video. So yeah, so that's how you can incorporate that there. I also want to point out over here on the right, you can expand these. If you're looking for something, you can drag this over and see several columns of pictures, and then you can bring it back. This is something temporary that you want to do. So that's batch photos. It's inserting and editing photos and video. And I do also want to point out how to add a photo to a comment so that you don't have to select that photo or sketch. So if we come down to plumbing, and if anyone saw the auto comments webinar I did several weeks ago, we covered this. Hot water systems. If there's a comment in here about the hot water tank, the hot water heater rather, being up a certain height off the floor, you can incorporate a sketch that already comes in HomeGauge's download when you download the software. So if I want to find that comment, I go to the magic wand, and it would be this one here at the top, the test and pressure valve. But I want to add an image to it. So I'm going to come up here to the wrench to edit it right here. So we want to, this is a template change, by the way. And it'll open up the image, the comment in the global list. And I'm going to click on this little house right here to add a picture. You could add a document too, but we're going to add a picture. And now I'm going to look for that picture on my computer by clicking the plus sign with the T. I'm going to go into my HomeGauge folder because that's where it is. And I'm going to go into Drawings and Plumbing. And here I have the sketch with all the information that I would want to be included. So this is an example of what it should look like. And even if it's like that, you might want to show what theirs looks like and what it should look like. This is just for you. I'm just going to, my keyboard will not work. Wow, this is like so fun. Okay, actually it allowed me not to give it a title, so that's okay. So we're going to say okay. And now we have one image associated with this comment. I'm going to say okay, so when I insert this, the next here, insert is one comment. Here is the image that will go in the report, and it automatically goes in. And when I save my template, the next time I select that comment, the photo will be part of my template and will be included in every report that I select that comment. Okay? So we went over the complementaries. We talked about QuickTime, inserting a video, putting a comment with a photo, and that video length obviously is very important, and how to edit a video. So obviously if you're incorporating video in your report, it's going to make the size of your report when you go to upload it, it's going to make it larger. So generally, it depends on how many photos that you would include in your report, but a 10 megabyte, which is our standard upload size, you should be able to include, a few videos, a couple, 3 videos, and then 45 to 60 pictures. Anything over that, you're likely to go over the megabyte size, and you would have to increase that with us. I think Tracy has a question. Hold on just a second. Someone had a question about repetitive type defects and associating a picture with a comment. So I'm having Tracy kind of elaborate on that, because unless you're planning on using that same picture to reflect the defect, you're not going to associate that picture with a comment. You would only associate a picture with a comment of something you would use over and over again. The software doesn't know the defect that you're pulling in. Right, yeah, so if you had the one that's correct, like this one with the water heater, for example, if you had one that their water heater wasn't correct, so you could have this sketch associated with your comment, and that would automatically come in, and then you would bring in the defective image from your actual inspection, and you could see one next to the other in your report. So what I just did is exactly how you would do that. You would find your comment in your magic wand here, or write a comment and save it to your template. Find that comment in your local list, go to the wrench at the top so that you could edit your comment, and then use this little box right here to attach a picture. Now, wherever that picture is on your computer, it must stay there. You don't need pictures on your desktop, because someday you're going to clean up your desktop and that you're going to move those images, and suddenly these pictures will not show up in your report. What you want is to create a folder somewhere. We have folders in HomeGauge that say drawings, references, or as long as it's somewhere you're not going to move it, because until the picture is in the report, the software is looking at where that photo is stored on your computer, and if you move it, it doesn't know. And when you go through this process right here, you're telling it where it's currently stored. So this right here you can see is stored in my Documents folder, HomeGauge, Drawings. So I went to this little plus sign and I found that image on my computer, and when I attached it, it came in here. And now every time I pick that, it will show up in my report, and then I can incorporate the deficient image next to it. And when you do that, it is a template change. So save your template. If you do something like that, you don't come up here and save your template or tell it at one point, the next time you come in there, it's not going to be there. We were talking about megabyte size and uploading your report, your finished report. So if you want to put a lot of video in your report, then you might consider upping your megabyte size. We have, packages to increase that, but the standard size is 10. If you go over 10, the software will tell you you've gone over, and this is how much you've gone over. But if you're doing your report and you want to kind of keep up with that, you can come up here to Report and Display Report Data Sizes. Now, this is a estimate of the size of this report. It doesn't include things like your style sheet, so you're going to probably want to add a megabyte or so to this total to get an idea of what you really have. But you can see that I've got 2 videos. My videos alone are almost a megabyte, and the duration of the videos, how many photos, and it's broken down. So that photo locker option, you want to, actually here's my whole megabyte size down here. My photo locker is not automatically uploaded with the report. There's a setting in here where you can tell it, upload my photo locker too. chances are, if you include your photo locker, you're going to need to increase your megabyte size for uploads, because just the photo locker alone with just 11 pictures right now is almost 5 megabytes. So if I had 50 pictures in here and I was including my photo locker, clearly I'm going to go over my megabytes. So we have a variety of options for you. There's a benefit to uploading your photo locker, and that is now the photos are off your computer. They're all, even your extra photos, your just-in-case photos are stored off of your computer with your report on your dashboard. Now, although you can't go in there and view those pictures from the dashboard, if you needed to pull the report back down into your software, you would then have those photos again, even if you were on a different computer, even if that original computer had crashed, or you got rid of it, or you were on vacation and you had your laptop with you, or whatever. So this is something you want to consider when you are creating this. Right, on default, the photo locker is not included when you upload your report. So yeah, so you have different options there. And as far as creating the video itself, keep in mind that it's very it's kind of obscure how the video size is determined. So you could have two 15-second videos, and they're going to be likely two different sizes. So if you're videoing something very still and you're just looking at this one thing and it's still for 15 seconds, and then you turn around and you video something with a lot of movement, maybe the water flowing or a fan moving, that 15-second video of the movement will be larger than the video without the movement. It has a lot to do with even color contrast and depth and movement and sound. All of those things affect the size of the video, the file size of the video. So just to kind of keep that in mind. Now, we're kind of coming here to a close as far as this topic is concerned. I'm going to check with Tracy to see if she has any other questions. But if we do have a little bit of time, if people want to ask some other questions, I don't mind. If you'd like for me to kind of go through that original report again to kind of get a concept of what we've gone through here and how that otherwise will look in your report, we can do that. So I'm just going to kind of open up that right now. I'll put you on mute for a second and ask Tracy if there's anything I can answer for anybody. All right, so here we are. This is sort of what we were talking about. You got your cover page picture. You got your panning of the neighborhood. Nice views here. Don't be jealous. Those are our mountains. And our table of contents, obviously. Our expanding pictures to be able to see that. Here's your complementary video that I was telling you. If you put a complementary image, this is your header, your intro for this overview, and so this would be a complementary picture. That's how I knew that it was when I looked here, because this is our header, and then this is our the video for the complementary view.
This is your view off your back porch.
Very, very nice. Yeah, so it's kind of a different way to do that. You can make a presentation instead of a report. I mean, this can take it in so many different ways. You might even consider doing a little thank you, almost a mini commercial for your own company on the cover page, a video that you create one day and you're going to use over and over again, and you can throw it in every report on that general info cover page to say, thank you for using Home Buyers Inspections. We appreciate your business. And maybe have your staff or something, and then it's just remarketing, marketing, and remarketing your company, rebranding. So I think you kind of get the idea here. So is there, if anybody has other questions, maybe off topic, we have about 10 minutes. I'm happy to do that. You can either type them in, or if you have a microphone and you want to raise your hand, I'm going to activate that right now. So there'll be an option on your screen now to raise your hand, and but only do that if you have a microphone where we can actually exchange, because I'm going to open your mic when we do that. Okay? And I'll be watching for you guys if you've got anything there. Let's see. Oh, I've got Norm Davis. And I'm going to open your mic right now, Norm, and I hope I can hear you. Norm, are you there? Norm, I don't know that you have a mic. He doesn't. I don't hear you. So I'm assuming you don't have a mic. I can't hear you. I had to make sure I didn't have myself muted for a second there. I was nervous. All right, anybody else have anything? If there's something that we'd like to cover besides this, if not, I'll give you a couple minutes. I do want to say that at the end of this, there's a little survey that will ask you a few things about what version of HomeGauge you're using and what how long you've been using, if you own it, if it's a trial, if you'll just take the time to do that. If you should miss it, an email will come to you with that as well. All right, looks like Norm's trying one more time. Let's see if I can get him. Norm, are you there? Oh, I hear you a little bit. I can't. I heard you a little tiny bit, but I don't hear you now. Hello, hello. No, I don't know that your mic is working properly. If you'd like to, you can type your message to Tracy, and she will give it to me, and I will answer it. Okay? So I'm not sure what's going on, but I can't hear you. So I'm going to mute you again. Okay, yeah, so if you want to, you can just please fill out that survey. And this webinar and other webinars will be posted on our website for future viewing. Also, you know, we have a YouTube channel at HomeGauge on YouTube. You can subscribe and you can see all the, so we have some tours, we have some webinars, you'll also have some product information so that you can kind of get an idea of what we're offering here. And that's really all I really have, unless someone's got a specific question. We really, really appreciate you all coming today. We'll be offering the same webinar in a couple of weeks in the evening if you'd like to attend again. And please watch our website under training and events so that you can see the future webinars that will be offered here. We are trying to offer them the first and third Wednesday of the month currently, and soon it will be even more frequently. So we really appreciate it. You know, we couldn't do it without you guys. You have a great day. I hope you get lots done. Take care.